Who's actually going to get the most out of a cordless, robotic pool cleaner? Is it worth the price for the average homeowner who just wants a clean splash, or does it belong in the hands of the pool-obsessed who treat their backyard oasis like a weekend hobby? And if you're on the fence because you've heard the hype but also the warnings, what's the real risk of buying the wrong cleaner and ending up with a pricey paperweight? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started looking into robotic pool vacuums, the biggest hesitation I felt was the promise of set it and forget it versus the reality of dealing with a piece of tech that has to navigate water, debris, and sometimes a ladder or two. I've owned a traditional suction-type cleaner for years, and every season I'd spend at least an hour chasing after tangled hoses, refilling buckets, and watching the filter clog up before the water even looked clear. The idea of a cordless unit that recharges itself sounded like a dream, but the question was whether it could actually handle the mix of leaves, algae, and the occasional sand that shows up after a windy day. The KANGJIEM Smart Cordless Pool Cleaner is positioned as an intelligent robot that works for both above-ground and in-ground pools. That flexibility is a big selling point because many homeowners have a hybrid setup, a small above-ground pool in summer and a larger in-ground pool in the off-season. The real test, though, is how the robot performs when you drop it into a pool that's already a bit dirty versus a pool that's only got a light film on the surface. I took the unit for a trial run in my friend's 18-foot rectangular pool that has a concrete bottom and a mix of fine sand and occasional leaves. The first thing I noticed was how easy it was to get the robot into the water. There's no cord to wrestle with, no power outlet to locate, and the whole thing sits in a compact charging dock that you can stash on the pool deck. After you press start, the robot begins its cleaning cycle immediately. The intelligent part shows up in the way it adjusts its suction as it moves across different zones. It pulls harder on the floor where sand settles, and eases off a bit when it's gliding over the waterline where only surface debris is present. In a typical 2-hour cleaning session, the robot managed to collect enough debris to fill its internal filter to the point where the indicator light turned amber. That's a good sign because it means the filtration system is responsive and you won't end up with a clogged robot that just spins in place. After the cycle completed, the pool water looked noticeably clearer, especially in the corners where my old hose-attached cleaner often missed. The robot also did a decent job of pulling small twigs and leaves that tend to get trapped in the skimmer basket. Now, let's talk about the practical downsides that only become obvious after you've used the thing a few times. First, the battery life is generous for a single cleaning run, but you'll need to plan around it if you have a larger pool or if you want a deeper clean. The unit runs for about 90 minutes on a full charge, and the recharge time is roughly 3 hours. If you're hoping to run it overnight and wake up to a sparkling pool, you'll need to start the cycle early enough that the robot finishes before the battery dips below the low power threshold. For a 30-foot in-ground pool, you might need 2 separate runs, which adds up in terms of total cleaning time. Second, the robot's navigation system, while smart, can occasionally get confused by steep ladder steps or uneven pool walls. In my friend's pool there's a small metal ladder at the shallow end, and the robot occasionally paused near the ladder's base, trying to figure out how to turn. It didn't get stuck, but it did waste a few minutes before moving on. If your pool has a lot of built-in features, ladders, diving boards, or complex geometry, you might find the robot spending extra time negotiating those obstacles. Another point to consider is maintenance. The internal filter is removable, which is great, but you have to clean it after each use to maintain suction. The cleaning process isn't overly complicated, but it does involve rinsing the filter under running water and letting it dry before snapping it back in. If you're looking for a completely set-and-forget experience, you'll still need to budget a few minutes each week for this step. So who should buy the KANGJIEM Smart Cordless Cleaner? If you're a homeowner with a medium-sized pool, roughly 1,525 feet in length, and you're tired of lugging hoses around, this robot offers a genuine time saver. Its cordless nature eliminates the tripping hazard of long power cords and the hassle of finding a nearby outlet. The fact that it works for both above-ground and in-ground models means you won't need a separate